What's up, everybody? Paul here. If you aren't familiar with who I am, I do run our GOHUNT showroom here at GOHUNT HQ here in Las Vegas, Nevada. But today, I'm going to share a little bit of information about Stone Glacier's new early season line that has come out. Early season apparel is kind of vital for those of us that do hunt earlier, so those August to September hunts, maybe even later September where it's still very warm, which is the trend some of us have been seeing. Having the clothing that's going to wick the sweat, breathe really well, keeps the body cool is really vital in us staying out in the field a little bit longer and being more successful. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first piece that we have is Stone Glacier's new Halo Sun Shirt. This Halo Sun Shirt is a little bit different than the Avro hoodie if you're familiar with their synthetic hoodie previously. And like some other synthetic hoodies, this thing is very, very comfortable. It is a very lightweight hoodie, and actually it has some perforations in the material for breathability, which maximizes breathability. This hoodie itself is over 90% polyester. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with that, polyester does a really great job of high abrasion resistant, but also maintains the memory of the fabric. So it's not going to stretch out and sag over time. It's going to be able to recover and stay comfortable throughout the duration of our hunt or our use. This does have a UPF rating, so an ultraviolet protective factor rating of 50. So hence the name Halo Sun Shirt is going to be able to block the sun off of you very, very well. One thing I do kind of admire about this, because the sun can beat us up in all ways, is that actually the thumb holes in this shirt are right here, but it has a very long cuff. So it actually covers the palms of the hands a little bit more to protect our hands a little bit. And then the hood, which is very nice, is a very, very deep hood with a little bit of a crossover just under the chin, maximizing the sun coverage. Another thing that we can kind of see, and you'll see it in some of the other jackets that we talk about today, is a deeper hood is nice to hug the head during windier environments, keeps the material on us. Another neat thing that to take into consideration with a lot of early season synthetics is the odor control. So this is polygene treated, which is great, and what polygene is it's a silica sand embedded into the material, and that helps with allowing the material to dry quick, reducing the growth of bacteria, but that silica sand will help to break up any of that bacteria and odor and stuff that starts to develop in our early season apparel. You'll see that in a lot of early season lineups. It's just kind of a form of lanolin or some sort of natural antimicrobial property. So polygene treated is great if we're on a multi-day hunt and we don't want to stank. That is going to definitely help us stay fresh in the backcountry. So that is the Stone Glacier Halo Sun Shirt. Really, really cool, really, really breathable, and it only runs about 75 bucks. So it saves you some money when looking at a new early piece of apparel. Next up, I'm going to jump into a new pant by Stone Glacier. This is called the Stone Glacier Praxis Pant. This is a slightly newer pant than something you might be used to in their de Havilland line or the 206 line. Rather than being a blend of materials, the Praxis Pant is actually 100% polyester. And just like I'd mentioned previously, polyester is great with maintaining the form of the material. It's not going to stretch or sag on you like we might be familiar with in some of our other pants. A pair of pants that I'm used to wearing are the de Havilland lights. Over a couple of days, you might feel like sometimes the belt stretches and everything else, so that's nice to know that's not going to happen in this Praxis pant. One of the key things that I do like about Stone Glacier pants is on the fronts of the pants, as we open up the clip and we open up our zipper, we are going to have a little bit more of that Velcro adjustment across the front. That gives us 3 inches of adjustment across the waist in just one size. So if we ever feel like we're in between sizes, just know that we can move that Velcro over or out and adjust our waist belt size, which is nice. The Praxis pant is also going to come with a 12-inch thigh zipper, which is going to be great for that easier thermoregulation, letting the body vent out. Although it does have articulated knees for stretching, you can also add a knee pad in there. So if we're kind of crawling across some prairie or sage country, know that you could sit on your knees, wait for that bull, that buck, or that pronghorn to stand up. You could send a shot downrange and hopefully fill your tag this season while staying cool and comfortable in Stone Glacier's new Praxis pant. That pant also runs $189, which is not a bad price point to get into a pant that you could probably wear on more than one early season hunt. So moving on to some layers that I really like, I do think that mid to outer layers are very important to getting us started in a hunt, protecting us from weather and a lot of other things. So the next item I'm going to introduce and talk about is Stone Glacier's new X1 rain shell. This rain shell is really, really neat for those of us who've always asked about like, what's a really great rain jacket to take that's not too big, not too bulky. For $189, the X1 rain jacket is impressive. Very, very lightweight. You could pack this into its own pocket, as a matter of fact, and take it with you. And I believe it's just over 9 ounces total weight. So I think that is a really, really nice jacket. Also comes with what you'll see in a couple of their jackets, these articulated hoods, which are great that we can adjust the back of the hood here, adjust the back of the hood here. That's going to tighten the hood around the head. Again, in really windy environments, that is going to be really nice. Another nice thing about this jacket is the articulated elbows that it does give us here. So if we are drawing our bow back, you can actually see I got a little bit of that movement there, which is really great. That's going to allow us to have range of motion if we are layering up underneath our jacket. This is a 3-shell 20D face, so the abrasion resistance is slightly higher on these faces, which is nice. Another thing I would like to add amongst all of these, the new early season line by Stone Glacier, is a lot of the material is quieter. It's not as loud as the M5 or the Pant. The Praxis Pant won't be as loud as the de Havilland or 206s. It's a much quieter line, which is really nice. So this is maximizing our wind and rain protection, as well as makes it quiet for us to traverse throughout our hunts. So you can adjust the hips if you need to keep a lot of that body heat in. You will have kind of waist-high zippers if it is above your belt buckle, so you can get in over your backpack, which would be great if you're putting any calls, your release, your phone, your maps, whatever you're needing to do. That'll be a nice adjustment there. Along with breathability, I would consider adding the X1 jacket to your early season rain gear apparel line if you need to. So last but not least, I do want to talk about this really nice Stone Glacier Headwall Jacket. This is their new softshell jacket this year. From what I can understand, it's kind of taken the place of the de Havilland jacket. But this jacket can also bridge the gap between a lot of other layers that you may or may not need for your early season hunt. If you know you're not going to get really cold, or if you run warm, maybe you don't need to take down jackets and everything else. This Headwall jacket is really impressive with a DWR finish, and it's wind resistant. So being able to block the wind out keeps the body warm, and it's also having the DWR finish will allow us to be able to set up a shelter if we get caught in a bit of a rainstorm. We'll be able to get through that easily enough. This softshell jacket would make a really great outer layer piece on those early season hunts. Maybe we don't have to take a down jacket or a lot with us. If you know the terrain and where you're going, you forecast it out a little bit and you can see what the weather will be. One nice thing that Stone Glacier takes into consideration with their whole lineup of tops between the Headwall jacket, the X1 rain jacket we talked about, or the Halo Sun Hoodie, is the raglan stitching across the shoulders. They will not put a stitch on the top that we know will be abrasive when putting on a backpack, so they just give us these nice big patches to not interfere with our pack and make anything uncomfortable with our vinyl harnesses and everything else. The Headwall jacket will have an articulated hood, which is great. Again, putting it over the head, cinching it up, so if it's really windy, we aren't parachuting out, but also keeping the warmth in as best we can. We're gonna have 3 sets of zippers on this jacket. The waist-high zippers, which will be great for, again, putting our hands up into our belts or jackets if we need to when hunting, over our belt buckles, having pit zips under the armpits as we do get warm. We'll be able to thermoregulate a little bit and stay comfortable. And then we're gonna have chest zippers if we need to drop our GOHUNT, our phones and the GOHUNT maps in here. For putting a release or calls or anything we need to access easy enough, that can be accessible for you. One nice aspect and feature to most of Stone Glacier's line is the longer tails. Those longer tails are meant to stay comfortable while wearing a backpack. That way we don't get a lot of updraft of cold weather or cold air up the backs as we are sweating and everything else, so having a longer tail is nice. For those of you that do think that Stone Glacier runs too long, it does run long in the torsos and in the sleeves, but don't feel like you can't wear Stone Glacier. You might just need to size down because they do cut their stuff very generously. So you might normally wear a large and feel like you're swimming. Try a medium. That way you can take advantage of the really great lineup that they have in all of their apparel tops and their pants. Again, going with a very softer face fabric. What is really nice also about the Headwall is the grid fleece on the inside. This is going to allow us to stay very, very warm, but that grid fleece pattern allows air to travel, cooling the body down and just dispersing some of that comfort throughout the jacket itself. So again, this is not a waterproof jacket. It is not seam sealed here like you will see in the X1. It is just going to be a grid fleece, soft material, soft shell face jacket for wearing in those early season stocks and everything else. So For a jacket like this, it's gonna run you $229 from Stone Glacier, which is a great long-term investment because not only will it do early season stuff, you could wear it into the late season, throw on an orange vest, and you're rocking and rolling into your October rifle hunts. I do hope you enjoy the new lineup, the new early season lineup Stone Glacier has brought out. I think it is really, really nice. I'm very, very excited about it. I do wear a lot of Stone Glacier stuff, not just based on the height, but the technicality and the performance. It has never done me wrong on all my early season mule deer hunts, and head over to GOHUNT.com to check that out.